Hello everyone, my name is Kitty Kazoo, and today we are doing another historically accurate redesign. This time we're revisiting Belle in her part 2, just as I promised in the last video. In the last one I redesigned her big yellow dress that everybody knows and loves, unless you don't like the color yellow like I. But this time, we are going to be redesigning her peasant dress that she wears through most of the movie. I know that she does have a couple other dresses, like a pink one that she wears in the snow and a green one, or maybe that's in a special Christmas something. I don't know, but I decided I only want to redraw the most prominent of her two outfits. I'll probably do this for some other Disney princesses, but it entirely depends on whether or not their other outfits are interesting enough to redesign. So some, like the ones that I've done before Belle, only got one redesign, because some of the other ones were just boring, or I just didn't feel like it, or they didn't actually have another outfit. But that's not the point. So, Belle's original peasant dress design, according to a reference that I found, is not completely inaccurate. But I also wasn't really sure if I could trust that source because I could only find the one picture. So I decided I'd go ahead and push the design based off of some other more reliable sources, considering there were a lot more that had this specific sort of arrangement than the one picture that looked a lot like Belle's, which very well could have been drawn based on Belle's outfit. So because of that, I decided to trust this design instead. The biggest difference between royal gowns and peasant dresses of the late 18th century is that the largeness of the hoop skirt is really varied. Of course, in the last one, the hoop skirt was just gigantic, especially at the hips, going mostly out to the side. Whereas for this peasant dress, it doesn't necessarily go out only at the side, it kind of seems more like it went around a bit more, but at the same time it wasn't nearly as extreme, because of course peasants have to actually keep in mind the practicality of their hoop skirts. That is, they need to be able to move around, whereas royalty who have servants and whatnot who can do everything for them, they don't necessarily need as much mobility from their outfits. From the references that I had, it kind of looked like the apron was sewn into the skirt, so I decided to make hers look like that. The sleeves are rather loose, and at the end of it, there's like some white ruffle stuff that is also apparent around the neckline that kind of pops out, so I decided to add that. And then at the waistline, there was this layer of fabric that would usually match the top part, and then the skirt coming out under that layer was a different color. However, because I wanted it to look as much like Belle as I could, I decided to keep the whole thing one color. I did keep her hair the same in order to make her more recognizable, and because there didn't seem to be a particular consensus, kind of just seemed like whatever worked. A lot of things did have a lot of emphasis on curly hair, but not everyone has curly hair, and they didn't have curling irons, that's for sure. So I decided to go with Belle's original hairstyle. I also gave her some very minimal makeup, mostly just a bit of rouge or blush on her cheeks, without any lipstick or eyeshadow or anything, because that wasn't really popular at the time anyway, even for the royal. Now, looking at the movie, I think that Belle isn't exactly well-to-do or anything, but she also doesn't strike me as being dirt poor, considering she clearly doesn't have a job, and her father has enough free time to spend on all his inventions. Not to mention, he would have to be able to buy all these parts, and even if he got them from scraps and like bits and pieces here and there, then it still stands that he doesn't actually do anything but invent stuff that nobody cares about, which means it probably isn't really selling it, he's just making it. They also have all these farm animals, which probably provide them for food, which means that however way they may actually get money, it can probably all go toward other necessities, such as clothing. As for the drawing itself, I kind of had to force myself to do a side view, because I don't like drawing side views, and I'm terrible at faces from the side. But if I don't ever do them, then I'll never improve, so that's why I kind of had myself do this sort of simple side view design. And this here is the finished drawing. I'm okay with it, but it's not particularly amazing, and there are a lot of things I would change about it if I was to do it again, but I'm not doing it again because that would be boring. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!